the thing you also have to realize is it's not like they have to accept their hurt reputation. I mean, a huge DRO, I mean, a huge company could be using just a moderately sized DRO that also has a reputation. And maybe, the huge corporation will throw mud at them and make them look like they are the ones that screwed up, that they are the ones that didn't understand the contract. And there'll probably be another DRO to work that out, and there's so many possible loopholes of making that go slow and muddying the waters, so it's not at all sure. Because if I'm a $200 billion corporation, I have access to propaganda that other people might not have access. I can put my case on the private airways while my opponents, might not be able to. So I don't think these companies would be nearly as afraid of their credit rating as you think. And keep in mind, lots of big corporations go into bankruptcy, still manage to get credit afterwards. And that is a decision they make if going into bankruptcy and taking that hit will cost them less than paying off their debts. In business, you look at your debts versus your risks versus your options based on what you think will work out for you in the end. One step might hurt your credit. It might hurt your bank account. You might look 2 or 3 steps along the line to decide what to do, though. And it's obvious that companies will take hits to credit for, just crunching the numbers and figuring out what to do. It's really kind of okay in credit, because this is the point of how credit works in our modern democratic systems, where it's acknowledged that the person loaning the money is taking a risk. So if you don't pay them back, yeah, it's your fault, but they've taken a risk. They can't send you, there's no debtor's prison, they can't send you to jail, and the reason for that is because they were also taking risk. They knew you might not pay the money back. There isn't actually a guarantee. It works a lot like you want these DROs to work. Great, and it does work. The reason it won't work for DROs is we're talking about people getting shot. This isn't just disputes between employees. See, lots of employers say that before you can sue them, you have to go to arbitration. And that's fine, because arbitration might make it smooth, and it slows things down if you have to go to court anyway, but you will be able to have your day in court if they really broke the law. Now, and again, that works. Arbitration's good for that. I think that's a good idea. But we're talking about, this is how people are supposed to not get shot as well, and this is how people are supposed to get police protection, is in this web of DROs and private police, and that's not acceptable. It's not acceptable for a company to say, ooh, killing 10,000 people in Bhopal is actually cheaper than not killing them. Killing them and taking the hit of breaking my nonviolence pact with the people of Bhopal, that's cheaper. We've seen this in the world. We will see it again. You have a system which allows them to make that calculation. We are trying to have a system where no human life can be traded for some amount of profit. You see, DROs do not protect that. His final paragraph is, and in the final analysis, if a society is so terrified, a single group seizing monopoly of political power, what does that say about the existing states? They have a monopoly on political power. If a DRO should ever achieve this kind of control, why should existing states continue to wield theirs? First of all, I'm not afraid of political power because of checks and balances. It's actually a distributed network. The California State Police is a separate organization from the federal police, say, the FBI. Those are different organizations. There's checks and balances, and they can actually investigate each other if something weird is going on in California, and they can bust each other, okay, and have the full support of the same legal system doing so. So I don't see that as a monopoly on power. A monopoly on power is when somebody gets the chokehold of the power. Again, use the word states. In a federation, the states are separate and equal. California doesn't have a monopoly on political power because there's Utah and the rest, okay, as well as the federal government. So there isn't a monopoly. Our modern democratic systems don't put a monopoly on the political power. They have checks and balances, and it's a distributed system. And this is much better. There's still a lot of problems with this system, but it's much better than market anarchy, because market anarchy is actually still hierarchical. In other words, it's not anarchistic at all. It's very hierarchical, because the most hierarchical organizations we have today are private property organizations. Governmental organizations are more distributed. In my view, they're not distributed enough. I believe in federalism, and I believe in distributed power. But currently, it's more distributed than what the market anarchists would ironically give us.